So, what is 83? Set in mid-80s Europe, a flashpoint that never ignited, but could have. At its core, it's the Cold War gone hot, an alternate history conflict between NATO forces and the Warsaw Pact. You'll fight across different theatres, from fortified German farmlands to snowy Norwegian fords. It brings to life the kind of war that was just around the corner for those who lived in that era. 83 will put the most iconic weapons of the Cold War in your hands, all of which behave like the real thing, with systems such as ballistic modelling, penetration, real-world accurate recoil, and advanced weapon handling. All aspects of gameplay will feature accessible realism, with uniforms, weaponry, and vehicles all perfectly matched to the features and appearance of the models available to each army during this period. We aim to make everything as realistic as possible, until the point where it stops being fun, and then we ratchet it back a notch. We're aiming for 40-minute battles where everything can happen. Intense, squad-driven engagements that reward tactical play without requiring you to clear your schedule. You'll see firefights in villages to full-blown armoured pushes across open terrain. And whether you're on the front line or commanding the larger fight, every role matters. The team at Blue Dot Games knows what it takes to create a standout, large-scale tactical shooter. With the wealth of experience from working on Red Orchestra, Rising Storm and their sequels, our developers understand how to craft meaningful combat systems, design maps with purposeful flow, and bring battlefields to life. In future dev diaries, we'll be exploring all of these elements in more detail, from faction design and arsenals to the core philosophy behind our gameplay loop. We're currently on the road to launch in early access later this year with a focused set of maps and systems. Then we'll grow, together. Modding, feedback, balance. We want the community in.
We interrupt regular programming with this special
83 is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious tactical multiplayer shooters in years. A Cold War-themed large-scale battlefield experience from Blue Dot Games, a studio formed by passionate former Antimatter Games developers who refused to let their vision die when their previous company closed its doors in 2023. Designed as the spiritual successor to Rising Storm, this is not just another military FPS. It's a meticulously crafted homage to combined arms warfare, blending the accessibility and pacing modern players expect with the authenticity and immersion of a hardcore tactical shooter. Set to enter Steam Early Access in Q4 2025, 83 throws players into intense 40 versus 40 matches where NATO forces clash against the Soviet ground forces in sprawling maps that mix gritty urban centers, rugged countrysides, and fortified military installations. Every battle is a high-stakes 30 to 40-minute test of coordination, with infantry pushing objectives, tanks rolling through enemy lines, artillery fire raining down, and squads executing synchronized flanks under the direction of commanders who operate an RTS-style metagame layer, influencing the overall tide of war. The game's authenticity comes from its commitment to era-accurate weapon behavior, lethal ballistics, and vehicle mechanics, but it smartly balances realism with accessibility. Rapid respawns keep the action moving, while tactical discipline and communication remain the key to victory. Roles are diverse, from squad leaders coordinating their fire teams to tank crews and artillery spotters, ensuring every player has a meaningful impact on the fight. Blue Dot Games is making community involvement a cornerstone of the project. Player feedback from early access will directly shape balance, performance optimization, and new content. Their roadmap includes a growing arsenal of weapons, expanding vehicle rosters, new Cold War-era factions, and varied biomes ranging from snow-swept battlefields to dense forests and war-torn towns. There's also robust modding support with a level editor and Source SDK tools, allowing players to create and share custom content, keeping the game fresh for years to come. The revival story behind 83 is as compelling as the game itself. What began under Antimatter Games with publisher Enid Global 7 was nearly lost when the studio shut down. But key developers rallied, secured investor backing, and took control of the IP to deliver the large-scale, teamwork-focused shooter they always envisioned. Now you can enjoy the screenshots without any interruption. Enjoy.